Okay, so we're diving into a city that kind of has a split personality. You've got one side, the historic Golden Bell City, a place built on faith and tradition. And then you have the other side, the enterprise city of the Philippines, this powerhouse of modern industry. So how can one single place be both of those things at the same time? Well, that's exactly what we're going to unpack in this explainer.
Right, so that's the big question, isn't it? How does a town famous for its church bells turn into the factory capital of an entire country? To really get to the bottom of it, we first have to understand what these two very different nicknames are all about.
Okay, let's break it down. You can almost picture it as two different worlds living in the same city. The Golden Bell City, that's the soul of the old Kabuyaw. It's all about faith, tradition, a connection to the land. Then you've got the Enterprise City, a total modern giant, driven by big business and global trade, where the background noise is the constant hum of factories. These aren't just catchy names, you see. They are two totally different realities, somehow living side by side.
To really understand what Kabuyaw is today, we've got to rewind, like way back. So let's jump in our time machine and go to the very beginning, long before a single factory was even a thought. Believe it or not, the city's name actually tells its own story. So when Spanish explorers first showed up, the whole area was just covered in these trees, the Kabuya tree, which is a type of kaffir lime. And the legend goes that when they asked the local people what the place was called, the locals thought they were asking about the tree, right? So they just said Kabuya, and, well, the name just stuck. But here's the thing. Even before it was called Kabuyaw, it had another name, Tabuko. And this name, which means the place where the waters reach the limit, it points to an even older identity, one that's tied directly to the rhythm of the massive Laguna de Bay lake. This was a community that was truly shaped by water.
So you can see this place has been in constant motion. It starts out as this quiet lakeside settlement called Tabuko. Then boom, 1571, it becomes an official town under the Spanish. A couple centuries later, in the late 1800s, those very same farmlands become hotbeds for revolution. And then you fast forward all the way to 2012, and it's officially recognized as a city. We're talking about a 400-year journey from a small village to a major urban center.
But, the most dramatic change in all of Kabuyaw's long history? It happened way more recently. And it happened fast. This was the Great Industrial Shift, a time when you literally saw rice paddies being paved over to make way for massive factory floors. So what kicked it all off? You might be surprised, but it was one highway, just one. The South Luzon Expressway, what everyone calls SLEX, was an absolute game changer. It basically created a direct artery, pumping life right from the economic heart of the country in Metro Manila straight into Kabuyaw. And that changed everything.
And once that artery was open, wow, the big players came knocking. We're talking about names you definitely know. Nestlé set up a factory there, one of its biggest in all of Asia. Procter & Gamble, making all the soaps and detergents we use every day. Asia Brewery, which is a huge landmark in the city. Wyeth, too. All of a sudden, Kabuyaw wasn't just a town. It was a production hub making stuff for millions of people.
And this quote here really just nails it. It perfectly captures how massive this change was. See, it wasn't just about building a few factories. No, this was a fundamental change to the city's DNA. Kabuyaw went from being a sleepy farming town to a major player in the Calabarzon growth corridor, a really vital engine for the entire country's economy.
Now, an economic revolution like that, well, of course, it's going to have a huge impact on people. So what is life actually like in the factory capital today? Well, you could really call it a modern-day melting pot.
Look at this. The population just exploded to over 400,000 people. But that number isn't just about growth. It represents a massive wave of migration. People came from literally all over the Philippines, from Bicol, the Visayas, Mindanao, all drawn to Kabuyaw by the promise of a steady job in one of those new factories.
So even though the city's spiritual heart is still that historic St. Polycarp parish, this huge influx of people created a really diverse community. You now see a really significant presence from other groups, like the Iglesia ni Cristo, and also the Aglipayan Church, which has always had strong roots here. It's a real mix of old traditions and new faces.
So let's look at the balance sheet for Kabuyaw today. What's the bottom line? On the plus side, the assets are obvious. A wealthy local government thanks to all those corporate taxes. And of course, lots and lots of jobs. But then you flip to the liabilities side, and you're dealing with some major challenges.
We're talking about soul-crushing traffic from all the container trucks, a really high flood risk, and a crazy high heat index thanks to all that concrete and industry. It's a city with so much promise, but it's also under a ton of pressure.
But hey, the story isn't over. Not by a long shot. Kabuyaw is actually on the brink of another huge transformation. It's facing its next big challenge, and maybe its next big opportunity.
And this right here? This is the next game changer. It's the North-South Commuter Railway, or the NSCR. And just like the Slex Highway did decades ago, this new train line is set to completely reshape the city. They're building a new station that's going to cut the commute time to Manila down to just 45 minutes. That's going to tie Kabuyaw even closer to the capital and will probably kick off a whole new wave of growth and development.
And all of this brings us right back to where we started, doesn't it? The Golden Bell City versus the Enterprise City. With this new railway about to hit fast forward on its future, the final question is a really big one. As Kabuyaw races ahead, getting more and more industrial, more connected, can it still hold on to the history, the faith, and the identity of that quiet lakeside village it used to be? That is the real challenge it faces right now.